This is the Angels POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Angels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
That's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. Let's not waste any time today. I'm here. I'm not wasting any time today. The Angels season is over, folks. The Angels season is over. Let's get to the intro, and boy, oh boy, let's discuss it. Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls, and welcome back to the latest edition of the Locked On Angels postcast, coming at you live, as always, after every single Angels game, both here live on the Locked On Angels YouTube channel and after the fact, both on the channel and wherever the heck you get the Locked On Angels audio podcast feed. If you don't know who I am, what's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credentialed journalist in the LA area, spent 4 years covering UCLA sports with the Daily Bruin, and now in year 2 with the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Our team is the Angels. And if you attended today's game, if you watched today's game, well, guess what? You witnessed the Angels' funeral. That's what you witnessed. I'm not holding back today, guys. This is inexplicable, this loss. It really is. And I don't care that the Angels came back from a big deficit. The Angels were handed this game multiple times in a game they had to win, in a series they had to win, after a series that they had to win against the White Sox that they did not win. And the Angels collapsed at the plate. We witnessed the Angels' funeral. GG's, boys. Absolutely right. Bases loaded, no outs, 3 Ks in a row. Chris says, this team is so bad. I don't know if we're so bad, but guess what? We are not a playoff team. And today confirmed it. Absolutely, it confirmed it. We will get into Tyler Anderson maybe at the end of the show. I don't really care. As you can see here, I don't really care about Tyler. I'm not here to talk about Tyler Anderson, guys. I'm not. I don't care about an old number 3 in our rotation who shouldn't be the number 3 in our rotation having a below average start. I don't care. And we, amazingly, will get to the 16 Angel strikeouts. 16 Angel strikeouts. That's not even the A segment of this postcast today. Having 16 strikeouts is not something I'm even going to talk about in the first 5 minutes, because there are even more embarrassing, disgraceful things that happened in today's game than just the sheer fact that your starter went 4 innings and gave up a bunch of runs. The fact that you struck out 16 times. No. And unfortunately, it's not the fact that you came back from 4-0 with a 3-run bottom of the 4th. It's not that. Let's get into it. America's favorite segment and a fired up segment today. It's the turning point, folks.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
The turning point should have been the bottom of the 4th inning, because I'll be honest, I could not believe what I witnessed in that bottom of the 4th inning. You have an Angels team that I'm sitting there, and this is before what ends up happening in this ball game. And I'm sitting there in the bottom of the 4th and going, this team can't even score with 2 on and nobody out. I literally said that in this moment. How ironic. We'll explain why in a second. But I'm sitting there like, the Angels can't score with 2 runs or 2 runners on with 2 outs, or with nobody out, excuse me. How are they going to do it with 2? In case you missed it, bottom of the 4th, Joe Adell lines out. O'Hoppe strikes out. Of course he does. And then we get a 2-out single from Rengifo. Or excuse me. What am I missing here? Bottom of the 3rd. Apologies. I'm looking at the wrong inning. Bottom of the 3rd. We get 2 on and nobody out. Rengifo single, Christian Moore walk. Let's get this correct. You get 2 on and nobody out. And I'm going, okay, here we go. 2 on, nobody out. This has got to be a score opportunity. You're down 4-0. You just fell behind 4-0. And then, this is what I'm getting at. We get the Bryce T strikeout. We get the Zach Neto strikeout. And now there's 2 on and 2 out. And you're thinking, of course, we're not going to come through. We're not going to come through. Of course not. But we did. We did. Incredible. Nolan Shanuel, 2-out single. Rengifo scores more to third. Now there's runners at the corners with 2 outs for our boy Mike Trout. And as critical as we have all been, you guys have been more critical than me. I don't know. You see him get behind 1 and 2. There's 2 guys on. You've already had 2 strikeouts in this inning, and you're thinking, okay, we stole 1 run, but that's all we're going to get. Mike Trout's going to strike out. But no, he takes a ball barely outside, and then he takes a ball on a pitch that's probably strike 3. Let's be honest. It's probably strike 3. Down and away, but looks like it's at the knees, looks like it's on the outside corner. And fortunately, we get a ball 3 call. The bases are loaded, and a hanging knuckle curve, not even hanging, it's at the knees. Luckily, Trout's not sitting on the fastball. He's sitting on the off-speed pitch. You could tell he was sitting on the off-speed pitch because on 1 and 2, he didn't look at the fastball. At 2 and 2, he didn't look at the fastball, probably in the zone. But 3-2, knuckle curve, and he got all of it. No other way to put it. 108 exit velo, 433 feet, 3-run shot from Mike Trout to tie the game at 4 in an inning where you go from 2 on, nobody out, to 2 on, but 2 out, and it turns into 2 of the biggest swings of the game. And if you win this game, maybe 2 of the biggest swings of this second half, because this is a must-win game. And for Trout to come through with a 3-run shot to tie the game, to turn a 4-0 deficit to 4-4, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. We were fired up. I know you guys all were too. But guess what, guys? Leave it to the Angels, man. Leave it to the Angels to blow this. Leave it to them. I don't know what's more frustrating, that in the bottom of the 5th, you once again have 2 on, nobody out. And you knock out the starter. A base hit from Teodosio. He steals second. Love to see it. Zach Neto walks. First and second. Starting pitcher knocked out. Almost an identical situation, except easier than last time. Last time, Shanuel comes through with 2 on and 2 out. Here he's got 2 on, nobody out. Unfortunately, he grounds out. Force out. They get this guy at second. He's able to beat it out, get to first. And I'm not going to blame him. He came through. Mike Trout, almost identical situation. Runners on the corners, full count. This time it goes from 3-0 to 3-2. And unfortunately, this time we just need a sac fly from Mike Trout to take the lead. He strikes out. But again, I'm not even going to blame him. He just had a huge 3-run shot 2 innings ago. You can't blame him. Taylor Ward, the guy we didn't trade because we need him to be the RBI machine. And he doesn't come through. A 1-pitch, horrible swing, weak grounder to third. Pretty disgraceful from him. And the game stays tied at 4. I'm infuriated at that point. But then I say, calm down. I'm sure you guys were all pissed off that 2 on and nobody out doesn't become a run. But then I go, wait, Gavin, we've seen this so many times. You know you're going to get at least one of these a game from the Angels. The question is, will there be another opportunity later in the game? It's a coin flip game. There it is, guys. Can we keep it a coin flip game and get one more opportunity? Well, guess what we did? We did just that. Brock Burke comes in for Connor Brogdon in the 6th, gives up a 2-out triple, but then he gets a ground out. Angels strand a leadoff walk from Joe Adell in the 6th. There's nothing. And then Christopher Morel. Zephyr John comes in and immediately the first pitch is a down and in cutter. Morel struck out 7 times in this series. But at bat number 8 here, a solo shot to give the Rays the lead. It's 5-4. And I get it. You're down. But I'm still sitting there going, this is a coin flip game. You really thought that this bullpen, as much as it's supposed to be amazing now and really, really competitive, now that we got Andrew Chafin and Luis Garcia. Yeah, okay, GMPM. We're really competitive because of that. Yeah, right. But you know you're going to give up 1 run from your bullpen. I mean, of course you are. It's the Angels. That's fine. It's still a coin flip game. You're still down 1 run. You've still got the bottom of the 7th, the bottom of the 8th, and the bottom of the 9th. Detmers comes in the 8th. 1 single, but other than that, gets through it. And here we go, folks. The inning that killed the season. Bottom of the 8th. Griffin Jax comes in. Instantly a leadoff single for Mike Trout. He makes up for the mistake. The strikeout in a sac fly opportunity. Taylor Ward gets a walk. He maybe makes up for the horrible first pitch swing and ground out to end the inning with a nice at-bat. 5 pitches, gets on first and second. Then we get a gift from both the Tampa Bay Rays and the baseball gods. Right away, first pitch of the inning, and Joe Adell fouls off a pitch, but there's catcher interference. An absolute gift from the gods to load the bases for Logan O'Hoppe. And I'm sorry, guys. Really uncomfortable discussions need to be had about Logan O'Hoppe. Comes into this at-bat 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. The OPS is now just barely over 700, and there's been plenty of people that have questioned if Logan O'Hoppe belongs as a cornerstone of the franchise going forward. And I get it. There's questions about him behind the plate. Oh, yeah, there are. But with what we saw, at least at the beginning of last year, the first really 2/3, maybe even 3/4 of last year, you're looking at this guy and you're going, we got a steal in that trade. And who knows how he is behind the plate. But there's no doubt about it that Logan O'Hoppe is a part of this future. Maybe he needs to DH. Maybe he needs to be moved to third base because he's just not fantastic behind the plate. Or maybe he's good enough at the plate hitting-wise to make up for him being lackluster behind the plate. You still put him there. He's athletic. He's young. He can grow. He can get better fielding. But at least we have his bat to trust. And that's why he's a part of the franchise future, a cornerstone, a leader. But guys, I hate to admit it. Right now, you're not saying that anymore. Whether it's third base, DH, catcher, starting pitcher, relief. Dude, another hat-trick strikeouts. 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. And if there's one thing that you could say about Logan O'Hoppe, and again, I don't want to tear into him. I really, really like Logan O'Hoppe as a player and as a guy, as a part of this team. He's the type of guy you want to be the face of your franchise in every way. And I can't imagine the amount of pressure that he and this entire clubhouse is going through when your GM is telling you that you're supposed to be a really competitive team and you're all still in your early 20s and not that good yet. But guys, I am not asking Logan O'Hoppe to even be the player we saw last year where he's hitting 300 and hitting home runs and having 3-run shots in the late innings. Guys, the bases are juiced with nobody out and you're down by a run. You were gifted this opportunity. And I know that he's Logan O'Hoppe. He likes extra bases. He likes slug. He likes a bunch of RBIs. He's thinking hit one into the gap, clear the bases, win this game. He's thinking grand slam. I don't know. I don't care if it's Logan O'Hoppe, if it's Mike Trout, if it's Taylor Ward. Man, I don't care if it's Aaron freaking Judge. If you're a team that has historically been abysmal in these situations where you just need a productive out to score a run, I don't care if Ohtani is up, if Judge is up, if Soto is up. I don't care. If Kyle Tucker is up, I don't care. Man, choke up on the bat, a few inches, pause, and just make contact. You have to go up to that at-bat saying, if I die at this at-bat, I better just make contact. I don't care if I'm doing a Taylor Ward and a first pitch changeup goes 20 feet down the third baseline. I don't care if I pop one up into shallow right center and it's a questionable play on if it's deep enough to even be a sac fly. I have already struck out twice in this ball game. My at-bats are awful, and all my team needs with no outs is I don't even need to theoretically come through with the sac fly here, because if I fail, there's someone behind me and there'll still be less than 2 outs. But I better just make contact and make it a coin flip play on whether we score. I'm not asking for 100% certainty that you get an RBI with an RBI single down the line or hit a 3-run double or hit a grand slam. I'm so desperate for coin flips that I'll take a coin flip sac fly where it's maybe not even deep enough and it's a tough decision on if you send him. But no, despite everything you know coming into this at-bat, you've already struck out twice. You're already 0 for 3. You're staring at an 0 for 4 with a hat trick of strikeouts. You can't put the bat on the ball lately at all. And your team sucks in these situations with runners in scoring position and less than 2 outs. You have less than 1 out. There's nobody out. And Logan O'Hoppe strikes out. He strikes out swinging, and he immediately falls behind 0-2. I don't know if you're pressing. I don't know what it is. But the first pitch of the at-bat is a sweeper outside. And you swing and miss. Now I get it. The second pitch to that bat, it's a tough one. It's a high and in sweeper, not where the guy was intending for it to be. Ohapi actually ducked. He thought that was headed for his face. And now it's 0-2. I get it. You're a miss. You get a hanging sweeper on 0-2, you foul it off. You get a four-seam fastball on the outside corner, you foul it off. And then on the fifth pitch to that bat, you get a hanging sweeper. Clearly, you're not swinging off speed, and you swing and miss. But guys, again, if you don't do it right away when you start the at-bat, you better with 2 strikes, 0-2. Your hands should be halfway up the bat. You should be thinking nothing other than just find a way to get the bat on the ball. You should be sitting back. You can't be sitting fastball. It's not like the fastball's 101. This isn't Mason Miller. It's a 96-mile-an-hour four-seam. Sit back, wait for the off-speed, and if it is a fastball, guess what? You've choked up enough on the bat to catch up and foul it off. But nope. Swinging fastball, swings right through a sweeper, strikeout. Okay, bases juiced, 1 out. Guess what? You absolutely failed. But the bases are still juiced with less than 2 outs, guys. You've got Rengifo, who's not super speedy at this point, but he's quick enough to where he doesn't even need to worry about grounding into a double play. Man, hit the ball in any way. And once again, as Eric says, it's got him dead. If I die at this at-bat, I better die having made contact. Unless I'm leaning into a pitch and I get a hit by pitch at my head. I better make contact. Nope. You get a hanging sweeper for strike 1. Okay, I get it. Maybe you want to feel things out. You take a changeup down and away. But then talk about the disrespect. 1-1, fastball, 97 miles an hour, basically right down the middle, and you foul it off. And then 1-2, hangs a sweeper, and just like Ohapi, choke up on the bat and sit back. And if it is a fastball, just catch a millimeter of the baseball and foul it off. But if it's an off-speed pitch, then you should be all over it. Nope. Swing and a miss on a hanging sweeper. Struck him out. And then I've already talked 17 minutes about this turning point. I'm not going to waste much time on this Christian Moore at bat. I get it. He also strikes out, and I get it. He strikes out on a fastball right down the middle. Infuriating. But at the end of the day, you can't really tear into Christian Moore. This guy already shouldn't be in the big leagues, but we love to rush guys up. But he already came through as well. Let's not forget he had what should have been a double to start a rally in the game yesterday, and we had the horrible Bo Porter decision to send Ohapi. Christian Moore came through in this game. He got on base. He's exceeding expectations for a guy who got rushed up to the majors, right? He took a walk. Yes, he struck out 3 times here with this one, but I'm not tearing into him like I'm tearing into Ohapi or Rengifo. At this point, the bases are juiced with 2 outs. It's a coin flip. And unfortunately, a guy who's not really ready yet didn't come through. That wasn't surprising. But the first 2, and Ohapi in particular, with everything we know coming into this at-bat, and I get it, that doesn't help. There's so much pressure on him, and personally, I feel for him. The amount of pressure that's on him coming into this game, coming into this series, coming into the second half of the season, coming into this at-bat. But dude, you got to find a way to make contact. And he didn't. And it's infuriating. Bases juiced, nobody out, 3 straight strikeouts. You don't even score a single run. You don't even score. You don't even put a single ball in play. And it caps off a game where you strike out 16 times. It's truly incredible. It's incredible. The Angels, and I have to take a break. I don't even know if there's time for a second segment, but the last thing I'll say is, with Ohapi coming up to hit, do you guys know, and I know I'm not a huge fan of win probability and all that stuff, or maybe you guys aren't, but after the catcher interference, Joe Adell, the bases are loaded with nobody out. You know the Angels were given a 71% chance to win the game. 1 run deficit. You're still losing the game, guys. And yet you have a 70% chance to win the game. That's the win probability. 70% chance. Because any competent team at least scores 1, right? And then it's tie game going into the 9th. As the home team, you have at least a 50% chance at winning. Chris says, don't tell me that, Gavin. Just made me sick. Yep. 71% or 70% chance to win the game. even after Ohapi crumbles and strikes out, you still got a 55% chance to win the game. Rengifo strikes out. And just like that, it's a 35% chance because 2 outs, Christian Moore coming up, the guy's hitting 182, and just like that, you collapse. And not only, it's so fitting because not only the percentage chance of winning this game just collapses, but the percentage chance of this team making the playoffs, I mean, put it near zero after this. You've got 3 teams ahead of you just to become the first team out. The best team that just misses out on the wild card. You have 3 teams ahead of you. You have to leapfrog 4 teams, assuming you handled business and won at least 2 or 3 in this series. You didn't even do that. You didn't even do that in the White Sox series. Season's over, period. I'm going to take my break. It's already 21 minutes. I'm supposed to have a second segment. We might just read the ads and just quickly ask you how your day is doing and end the show. But we're going to take our break. When we come back, we'll talk about something. I don't know. We'll be right back here on, in my opinion, a funeral edition of the Locked On Angels postcast. Now, on this Wednesday, today's show is brought to you by Game Day Hue. You've been seeing the Frisch Bros, particularly John. He's been sporting that Game Day Hue hat, and boy, oh boy, it hits the mark. Game Day Hue makes clean, no-logo gear with team-inspired colorways for every pro and college fan base. It's all about letting your colors speak for you. No giant logos, just smart, versatile style that works on game day, on the course, or anywhere in between. And it's not just hats. Check out their split-shade gloves made for the golf course or the perfect gift for the fan who has everything else. Right now, you can get 15% off with code MLB15 at GameDayHue.com. That's GameDayHue.com. The code even stacks on bundle deals, so now's the time to load up. Let your colors talk because colors speak louder than words. That's GameDayHue.com, code MLB15. And today's show is also brought to you by Monarch Money. If you ever wish managing your money felt easier with Monarch Money, it can. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is more than a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building wealth. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. Back here live on, in my opinion, a season-ending edition of the Locked On Angels postcast. The Angels come into this second half of the season, the post-trade deadline. I know that the All-Star break is technically the second half, but certainly with how shocking that trade deadline was for the Angels, where instead of selling, instead of being neutral, you actually make technically win-now moves, acquiring 2 relievers and a random body in Oswald Peraza. No offense to him. There's a lot of pressure. But the good news is you start your second half, post-deadline half against the abysmal Chicago White Sox. And so surely you're going to sweep the White Sox, or at least win 2 out of 3, and keep you somewhat in this AL wildcard race that you think you're in, that your GM said you're in, said that you're really competitive. Nope. You go 1-2 against the White Sox. Well, okay. Absolutely infuriating. What's the one way the Angels can make up for that? It's really sweeping the Tampa Bay Rays, right? But at the very least, it's winning a series against a Rays team that has been awful. They were 2-9 in their last 11 coming into this series. And guess what the Angels do? They split the first 2 games. They make it a must-win rubber match here on a Wednesday day game at the Big A, a pretty empty Big A. And what do the Angels do? They come up with the bases loaded, down by 1 run, nobody out. They're gifted the bases loaded, by the way, on a catcher interference. 70% chance to win the game, according to MLB.com. 70% win probability. Logan Ohapi with one of the worst strikeouts of the season. Luis Rengifo with one of the worst strikeouts of the season. Christian Moore makes it 3 strikeouts in a row with the bases juiced and nobody out to lose the game. And in my opinion, to end the series, or the season, to end the season. And you're saying, some of you, I know a lot of you certainly agree, but if you are not fully educated on this AL wildcard race that, again, I shouldn't even be discussing, think about it. And we'll end with this. If the Angels did what they were supposed to do at the trade deadline and sold, cashed in on a Taylor Ward, cashed in on a Kenley Jansen, then guess what we would be saying? We'd be saying, hey, the Angels are still a near 500 baseball team with a bright young core and some future pieces, right? That's what we would be saying. We'd be saying, okay, it's frustrating that it's another year where we're not sniffing the playoffs, but hey, it's another year where we are making strides, hopefully, towards getting there eventually. But because of what we did and because of what our GM said, let's not forget, he said we're really competitive. Obviously, really competitive. He said we're right there in the AL wildcard race. Well, guess what? As someone who doesn't believe we're in it, I have to spend the end of the show looking at the wildcard race because that's what our franchise thinks we're doing. And with this loss, you are still now a game and a half back of the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays that were 2-9 coming into the series. You're a game and a half back of the Kansas City Royals. You're 4.5 back of the Rangers, who made win now moves at the deadline and are going to get better. You're 4.5 back of the Cleveland Guardians, who are a very good baseball team. You are 6 back of the Yankees, who have been awful as of late. But guess what? We can say they've been awful. We are a minus 68 run differential. They're a plus 88. That's still an elite baseball team. We're 6.5 back of the Mariners, who just made 2 of the biggest splashes at the trade deadline. They have an MVP candidate in Cal Raleigh. And then now you're 9 back of the Red Sox, who have a plus 85 run differential. They just signed one of their young stars to a huge extension. They certainly look like a team that's going to make the playoffs this year, but also is a team still technically planning for the future. And then there's the Angels. I don't know what else to say, guys. This really feels like the end. It feels like it for sure. And thank God we have the day off tomorrow. We can all take a deep breath. We can breathe. And then I'll be back here Friday for what, if tonight wasn't the funeral, tomorrow certainly, or Friday certainly could be, because the Angels will be taking on Tarek Skubal. Oh, man. If we struck out 16 times today, I don't want to know how many strikeouts he is going to have. But you can look forward to that on Friday. And then Saturday, I think I saw someone say it in here. Skyler said, I'm more excited for the LA Rams this week more than the Halos. You doing the postcast for that team too, Gavin? Yes, I am, Skyler. I will be doing it's not going to be called actually the Rams postcast. It's going to be something special. We're calling it the Squad Show. It's because it's not just me. It's me and a couple other big figures in the Rams space. We'll just leave it at that. There's a media personality that's large, and there is a former Rams player on the show as well. It's going to be a great show. First edition of it will be Saturday after the Rams preseason opener. So be on the lookout for that Saturday night. If you're a neutral football fan, if you're a Rams fan, either way, would love for you to join on Saturday. It'll be on the Locked On Rams YouTube channel and podcast feed. But for now, I'll see you guys back here Friday. We'll do that Saturday, and keep your heads up the rest of the day, and keep your heads up with that break tomorrow. All right. Let John saying, let's not beat up on our team. We need to be realistic. I'm not beating up on individual players in terms of saying they're bad people or even that they're bad players. They're just not good enough for what we're asking of them right now. That's really what it is. Have a great rest of your Wednesday night. Enjoy your Thursday away from the Angels, and I'll see you back here on Friday. Take care, everybody.